I record all my class sessions. I like you to be here. I know you can't always be here. One thing you'll learn about me is I am super flexible. Just communicate, don't ghost me. Just communicate and we're cool. I have to apologize because we're moving to Blackboard Ultra, okay? So you might have some classes that are in the classic Blackboard space, which my Illustrator class is, but Photoshop is in Ultra. I'm moving a couple classes at a time. I'm doing 3 this semester, teaching 11 classes this semester. I have until next fall to get them all in Ultra. So it might look a little bit different than your other courses. So you're kind of the guinea pigs. I'm doing marketing, creative portfolios, and graphic design 1 are going to be in Ultra this semester. So I apologize that it might not look like other courses that I teach and other courses that you're in, but students actually like Ultra better, and I'm getting the hang of it. It's just going to take a little bit of adjusting, okay? Just like Illustrator, if you have me in Illustrator, all the course content is open. All the lessons are open. You can work ahead if you want to. And this is the Zoom classroom information. So this is a Blend Flex course. So you can join on Zoom, and here's the link to join, and here's the meeting ID. Joining on Zoom, joining in the room, same thing. For me, it's a Blend Flex class. If you can't be in class, please let me know. If you can't let me know because it's an emergency, that's fine. Follow up with me later. You'll see I'll have, like, up at the top here, I'll have a lecture videos folder, and I'll put all my lecture videos in it once I have this one recorded and posted to YouTube. So I don't list them, they're unlisted, so you have to have the link. I just ask that you don't share them outside of class. So Ultra's a little bit different. It has this menu up here. So all the course, all the assignments have been given their due dates. So if you look at the calendar, you'll see all the due dates here. So that's a really handy way to stay on top of things. And if we go back, oh no, I don't want to exit student preview. And we go into the course orientation, you'll also see I have a comprehensive calendar. So there's no surprises in my classes ever. You'll see this comprehensive calendar, everything we're going to do, all the assignments and when they're due. So this class only meets 1 time a week, but the way the classes are set up, the ones that meet 2 times a week, usually the second day is an optional lab day. So every class will come in, I'll do a lecture, videos, maybe in-class assignment, take about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. Then the rest of the course time is open lab for you to work on your assignments. You're free to go at that time. You can go home, work on your assignments. You can stay here. I don't care either way. But just so you know, if you're thinking like 10:30 or 10 o'clock is too late, we will usually wrap up by 8:30, unless we do peer review and they last really long, which I've still never seen them go that long, okay? I had a different instructor that was going to teach this course, and they kind of backed out at the last minute. So and she could only teach at 6:30, so I'm stuck with this really late course time. I apologize, but it won't be that bad. You are in Adobe Photoshop. So my name is Louise Jett. I am the program coordinator for the graphic and web design programs, if you don't know me. I love graphic design and web design. I'm creative. I love teaching. It's my passion. I worked as a media specialist here at Lewis & Clark for 8 years before I received my promotion to a full-time faculty member, which was 8 years of hard work to get there. But I really love teaching. I actually went to get my master's degree so that I could teach. And I want you to succeed. So everything I do is trying to set you up for success. Thank you so much for taking my class. I really appreciate you, because without you, I can't teach, right? You gotta have students. This is a great little section on making your computer Blackboard ready. I imagine your computer already is. And also, if you want to get the free copy of Microsoft Office, that information's here too. All Lewis & Clark students get that free Microsoft Office. We won't use Microsoft or Word or anything like that, unless you want to do your learning portfolios that we'll talk about. This is the first week of the course. We're gonna have our introductions. We've got an icebreaker that you're gonna do. It's a discussion board post. I'm gonna cover all the information in Blackboard, and I want you to have your textbook next week. So if you look in the course calendar, and well, first the course syllabus, you'll find the textbook here. It's Adobe Photoshop, Classroom in a Book, the 2022 release. If you need the textbook, you can't afford it, we have a Perkins support system here that I can hook you up with. Just shoot me an email, let me know. If you don't have it next week, you're waiting on financial aid to come in, I could probably get the first lessons for you as a PDF. So try to get your book next week. I understand if you don't have it, you'll really need it the week after that. And then again, here's that course calendar that shows you everything, when it's due. It lists the file names and what you'll be turning in, so handy. Written discussion board posts are required for this class. You'll see that some are optional. They'll all be clearly marked. Discussion board posts will become available as they open. You'll be using Blackboard to submit all your assignments. I do not accept assignments via email. I'm teaching 11 classes, so could you imagine if all my students email me their assignments? My mailbox literally fills up, and then I can't get any more mail. So please upload stuff to Blackboard. Let me know if you have any problems. You used to have to compress and zip files. Now you could upload multiple files, so it's super easy. If for some reason you have a file that's really big and your internet is stalling out and won't upload to Blackboard, try uploading it to a cloud server and sharing it via link. That works too. Or bring it in on a flash drive if worse comes to worse. You'll see I'll give you an assignment, and that'll be due the next week after we meet. So if you have any questions, you can come into class with questions about your assignment. Webb.
We went off topic, but I was going to say, I'm pretty sure your computer wouldn't shut up with notifications if it was all emails.
Yes, yeah, I get the Blackboard notifications, and they're enough. But I did used to accept, because I'm like, oh, I want my students to succeed. They could turn in their assignments however they want. Literally, my mailbox was full all the time. IT is like breathing down my neck. I'm not getting any emails. So then I was like, oh my gosh, who's tried to turn in assignments? So it just doesn't work. So upload on Blackboard. That's where the space is. And then it keeps you can email me all you want. Just don't email me your assignments. Okay. So you're going to get feedback from me and your peers, especially when we get into the portfolio projects. And your assignments are not worth a grade because I use the 3P grading system. I'm going to talk a little bit about that more. They're not worth a point grade, but you will get feedback throughout the semester. So this is your first assignment, and it's due next Monday by 11 p.m. Just like I said, give you assignments you typically do the next week after we meet. It's a discussion board post, so if you click here, it'll open up and you can type your response in here. So I think it's the same for Illustrator. You can literally share the same thing, I don't care, but just share some sort of hobby or expertise. Something that you feel like you have valuable knowledge that you can share with us that we might find useful. Tips, tricks, anything. Maybe you're really great at thrifting. Maybe you love to go to auctions. Maybe you play a musical instrument, or you have a blog, or you write, or everybody does something. So this is just kind of share your expertise. And it's a good way to introduce you to your classmates. I will not require that you respond to anyone. So just post that by next Monday at 11 p.m. Let me know if you're having a hard time posting. And of course, during class next week would be a good time if you're having issues. That's your only assignment this week. Then you can see here how you have your lessons. So if you click here, you'll see it's very similar. We do have lesson notes where I have slideshows in Illustrator. There's notes in Photoshop. Here's the lesson files for the lesson. So you can actually download them. You can also download them via your textbook, but I have them all uploaded so you can download them that way. Then the lesson will tell you what to do. Lesson 1, read these pages, work through the lessons. It'll always tell you what file you're going to start with, what file you're going to end with. and then the due dates. Now, September 4th is Labor Day, so we actually will not meet. So for your first lesson, you'll have 2 weeks to do it. So we'll meet next Monday, and I'll give you this lesson, and then you'll have 2 weeks. But typically, you only have the 1 week to do your lesson. But since this is Monday night class, we won't meet on the September 4th.
Which one did you say is our assignment for this week?
The icebreaker. So the discussion board post, that's right here. And it's under course orientation.
Okay.
So it's the first assignment right there. Great question. So you can see all these lessons are open. Once you get your book, if you want to work ahead, that's fine. You can have at it. But now I want to talk about the 3P learning system. So if you notice, if we look at our course calendar, which is tiny this way, but you can download this. And let's zoom in a little bit. And then we go down to week 8, which is the midterm. We will not meet as a class. We'll meet individually by appointment, and your learning portfolios are due at 11 o'clock the night before your conference. I know some of you have already listened to me talk about this, but it's a really different way of grading, so I like to go over it. So if we look at your midterm folder, first off, the great thing about 3P is no quizzes, no tests, ever. We'll do in-class stuff. We'll do in-class reviews. We'll have in-class assignments, but you never have to memorize anything for a quiz or a test. This software is so smart. If you hover over the tool with your cursor, a tooltip pops up, tells you the name, shows you a video, like walks you through it all. So I don't need you to memorize all the tools. But what I want you to do is to think about thinking. I'm going to encourage you to practice metacognition. I know it sounds magical, but all it means is thinking about thinking. So I want my students to be active knowledge makers. So you're going to take the knowledge you learn and you're going to turn it into something cool. You're going to display knowledge through creation, because we're graphic and web designers. That's what we do. So these classes are perfect for what I call a learning portfolio. So you can build your portfolio however you like. It should have 3 learning artifacts, or 5 or more if you're saying you want an A. And I'm going to go through the grading scale and everything here in a minute. All it is a multi-page document. You can create it in Canva, PowerPoint, Word. You can create it in Photoshop if you want to. And it justifies the grade that you're going to give yourself. So if we look about learning portfolios, throughout the semester, you're going to be learning things. Take note of when you've learned something really important, and then you're going to display that in your portfolio. I'm going to show you an example of one in a minute. So say you learn the pen tool in Photoshop, and you're like, wow, that's a really cool selection tool. I'm going to put that in my portfolio. Maybe you screenshot the assignment and then reflect on the learning artifact. What did you learn? You don't have to answer all these questions, but I have these questions to kind of prompt your reflection. Why did you learn it? Why is it important? And so on and so forth. But let me show you. This is the template that I have. So if you click use this template and you're logged into Canva, it will open up. So, you just double click here, change your name, change the class, and then tell me whether it's your midterm or your final. The bio information is optional. That's considered going above and beyond. Here's an example. This could be the learning artifact. And then these are reflection questions, 3 to 6 sentences. And then the artifact caption, if it's not clear that it's this assignment or that assignment, or it could be a stock image, but there needs to be some sort of visual representation of the learning artifact. Here we see learning artifact 2, 3. 3 is all you need, but if you want to go above and beyond, you're giving yourself an A. I highly suggest you do 5 or more. And then you assign yourself a point for each of the 3 Ps. The 3 Ps are performance, progress, and participation. And let me pull up, I'll put this in here. I see now that it's missing, but I have an example that I can show you, and I'll add it to the course content. And really, students either get really frustrated and they make the learning portfolio like more complicated than it is. It's really not that complicated. So this is Braden's learning portfolio for graphic design 3. He's showing like, this is what I did. I drew this illustration before the semester, and then now I can do 3D illustrations. So he's kind of showing me that, and he's doing it in his free time. So anytime you work outside of class on sketching or anything that's graphic or web design related, put that in your learning portfolio to show me that you're going above and beyond. So, and then he just pairs it with this reflection. It's like, here's my learning artifact. I learned this from mentors, and now I know how to do it myself. So just kind of reflecting on what he learned. And he went all the way back all the semesters. You don't have to do that. But again, this is like above and beyond, A+ learning portfolio. And I need to add the student guide, because when I was switching over to Ultra, that got lost. Let me make a note though, or I won't remember. Okay. And then you give yourself a point value for each of the 3 Ps. 4 is A+. And let me show you the student guide that I'll add in here. So participation was worth 50%, progress is worth 30%, and performances were 20%. It's a 4-point scale. So you'll assign yourself a point value for participation, progress, and performance. 4, like I said, it's above and beyond. F means you didn't do diddly squat. So once you turn in your learning portfolio, I grade you, and then I average out the grades. So you literally give yourself half your grade. Now, I say this all the time. Mostly students are hard on themselves. Every once in a while, someone will be like, I'm making a C, and they haven't turned in anything. And I'm like, BS. No, you're not, because you haven't turned in a dang thing. But that very rarely happens. Try to be fair. And then I define each one of the Ps. But you can see here, it's weighted and averaged. And so you actually give yourself half your grade, but you have to justify it. So participation is more important than progress or performance. And it's completing assignments on time. Even though I don't count out for late, if your assignments are late and that's the worst thing you ever do, you could still earn an A in this class, as long as you're not missing assignments, okay? And then you got to get them in before the conferences, right? Otherwise that'll hurt your grade. Following directions is participating. Asking questions when you're confused. Sometimes I tell students, you ask such great questions, and I give them like bonus credit on when we have our conference, because they're just so engaged in asking great questions. Being respectful, listening, providing feedback when we do those peer reviews, using feedback to improve your work, being accountable, and like I said, asking for help when you need it. That's participation. Progress is anytime you make progress, right? So improvements in participation, improvements in performance, setting and achieving specific goals, and the completion of your assignments. And then performance is the quality of your work, but it's actually the least weighted of the 3 Ps. But what is the quality of your work? That will determine your performance grade. So, you know, a lot of students, if I see, maybe they're participating and they're making progress, but their quality is just not there. They need more practice. So they might be like A, B, or C. On the other hand, I'll have a super talented student whose quality of work is excellent, but maybe they're missing half the assignments and they're not making progress. So then you could actually get an A for the quality of your work, but then like C's because you could have done better in your progress and performance. To get an A, you go above and beyond. There'll be lots of opportunities for above and beyond. There'll be optional discussion board posts that I post. We'll have in-class assignments that are optional. Some of them won't be, but you just have to do more than you're expected to. And that could be like a really beefy learning portfolio. So you only have to have 3. If you have 5 or more, that's considered going above and beyond. Staying for optional lab times, asking questions, that's also above and beyond. And again, like I said, working on art, graphic design, web design, marketing, anything outside of class that's pertinent to this coursework is also above and beyond, but you have to put that stuff in your learning portfolio or I won't know. How do I know that you keep a sketchbook if you don't put pictures of it in your learning portfolio? Any questions about the 3P grading system? Okay, now I gotta, there we go. It's not that hard, plus you've got 8 weeks, but start thinking about it. Like if you have aha moments, that's a learning artifact. If you're like, whoa, I learned how to make this photo black and white and like up the saturation and contrast and it looks really nice, that's a learning artifact. So, you know, be thinking about them. Don't wait till the last minute. At least have an idea of some of the things that you want to include. And then we don't meet on week 8 and we don't meet during the final week either because you're building your final conference portfolios. Now, a couple weeks before the midterm, I will send out this like appointment software that I have and you'll make your appointments. You can meet me for your conferences either on Zoom or in the room. Either way works for me. The textbook is really awesome. It's going to walk you through step by step how to do every single thing. And then after we're done with all our book lessons, we don't do everything in Photoshop like we do in Illustrator. But after we're done with our lessons, we skip some lessons. We skip 9 and 10 and 6. Oh no, 9 and 10. And then we finish with 13. Then we're gonna hop into our portfolio building projects. So like you're gonna do a highway billboard, ad buster, spoofed ad, website homepage, playbill design, movie poster, cover art to the movie poster, and then your final conference. Another teacher teaches class as well, so we want to make sure that we have the same content. So that's why this course looks a little bit different than Illustrator. I'm the only one who teaches Illustrator. But she gives quizzes and tests, and I don't. So it's kind of a trade-off. You do the learning portfolios instead. If you look up here at the top, like I said, you can see the due date. You'll also see announcements. If you click them, they'll open up. I will send an announcement every week. Usually at the beginning of the week, sometimes I'll send more than one, but I like to send out announcements. I think it's one way to keep engaged. Here's the discussion board posts. There'll be more as they become available. Like I said, you can click there and type in your response. Here's your grade book. So your assignments, except for the midterm and the final learning portfolios, will just be marked complete or incomplete. The only time you'll get a grade is at the midterm and the final. If you think, oh my gosh, I'm struggling, am I failing Louise's class? Come to me, we'll talk. I'll tell you where you need to be to pass or get the grade that you want. So it's not like you don't know where you stand. If you have a question, come to me and I'll help you out. But officially, I don't give grades until the midterm and the final, but I do give lots of feedback. Especially like when we do something in class, we'll share and everybody will look at your work and we'll talk, and during the peer review process as well. Peer reviews are super important. They help replace the quizzes and tests. And when we do these cool portfolio building projects, we'll have a peer review for every one of them. I use a website called Socrative, and we'll do the peer reviews in class. Here's messages. You can send me a message from here, but it's in Blackboard, so I might not see it. So that's why I say email is my preferred method of communication, because it's hard to see these messages when you send them in Blackboard. Okay, any questions about anything? Yes.
You mentioned Canva. Will we get a free premium since we're students, or is that something?
They used to give me that, and I used to be able to do that for students, but I can't anymore. But there is a free version that you can use. It's just not the premium version.
It's not as good as premium.
It's not. I know, they sent me an email over the summer and they were like, you teach college. We want to make your college pay. you can no longer have this.
Wow.
And I'm like, damn it.
So in other words, they said, we know happy. They were so
Yeah.
With that, and now they just.
I know. I knew I wasn't supposed to do it, but I got away with it for 3 years. So 3 years until they were like, "Oh, we got you," and I was like, "Dang it!" Yeah. But so before I wrap up, you do get free Adobe Creative Cloud. So you will see. I will send Ron tonight a list of all the students. I wait until today because there were students who were enrolling today, and you will get an email from Adobe inviting you to your Creative Cloud, and you use your Lewis and Clark email address to sign in, and then you'll have access to Creative Cloud. This is what I call the Creative Cloud Hub. Once you download Creative Cloud to your computer, it looks like a little knot, and you'll see here. It's got really cool featured things. There's trending designs and textures and colors and just lots of cool stuff. If you look here, click up here, here's your apps. So you're in Photoshop, but you're gonna get access to all these Creative Cloud apps. I think there's a couple of the 3D ones that don't let you get it, but almost everything. When it needs updated, it'll tell you right here and you can update it. Otherwise, this is where you can come and open up your apps as well. You can dock them in the bar at the bottom too, like you see here, but you can open them from what I call this the Creative Cloud Hub. You also get Creative Cloud Storage Room. So you can see some of the funny things I've worked on that are saved on my cloud, in my cloud storage. I am working on this piece where Bigfoot is going to be riding the Loch Ness Monster, but I just need more time. I'm excited about that one. I need to pick that one back up. You can also, it's really cool, and we'll talk about this in Illustrator and Photoshop, but you can save colors to your Creative Cloud library, which is neat. And you can share things with other people. Like this is stuff people shared with me. Pretty cool. Then this is like a cool place to discover different videos, tutorials, things like that. And then we have the stock and marketplace, which is really cool because with your Creative Cloud subscription that Lewis and Clark provides you as a graphic or web design student, you get some stock assets for free. So like vector art, fonts, photos, things like that. So when I'll search animals this time. So I'm in the hub. I use this drop down menu to select free, and then I'm gonna hit enter. It's gonna open it up in my web browser. But then these are the free stock assets that I can use in my designs with my Creative Cloud license. Or yeah. Then if I say I want to use this frog, I can click license. I have to license it so that it belongs to me. And then I can click on it. And I can either, if I click open an app, it's a photo, so it'll open in Photoshop, or I can download it. It downloaded already, but I could download it and put it somewhere. And then now I can use this. Let's see if I click open an app. I can actually open it in Photoshop. Didn't work. Don't know. I'll try that again. It's being glitchy. I don't want to find similar. I want to open it. Might take a minute. Yeah, it's just not working. It's supposed to open up in Photoshop, but it's not working. That's why I like to download it instead, and then you have it on your computer and you can save it wherever you want. And then if you notice, you see I don't know if you can see it, you see the watermark. And then if we look at the file I downloaded, the watermark's gone. So really awesome for making cool projects, working in your classes. A lot of students don't realize that they have the free stock stuff and that it comes with their subscription. And like I said, this is the hub. pretty awesome. Another really cool thing that we'll work on in class, and this will be the last thing I go over before I let y'all go for the week. It's a soft start, I like to call it. I don't expect anybody to have their book on the first week of class. But if you go into help and you click on hands-on tutorials, I have Photoshop open now. It's gonna open up this little window and you can literally do these tutorials right here in Photoshop without even leaving. So you click start tutorial, it'll open up. Some of them have little videos. So this one is a step-by-step one. Some of them have videos, they look a little different. It opened up my practice file and it will tell me step by step. Like it's showing me these are my layers and this is what it wants me to do. So you can actually work through the tutorials in the interface, which when I was learning Photoshop, no. You could not do that. And then here's kind of an example that I was showing you. If I just leave my cursor over one of the tools, it tells me the tool, it tells me the keyboard shortcut, and it shows me a little video of the tool in action. So you don't gotta be memorizing these tools. It's right there. It's pretty exciting. You could also, if you wanna learn a specific tool, you can, type like a keyword and see if there's a tutorial. If you go like this, it'll usually show you and select the tool for you. Here's help. So here's like a help on how to use the magic wand tool. So it's really robust. When I was learning Photoshop, you had to like have a YouTube video up here and this right next to it and pause it, do something, and pause it, do something. It's really a lot more sophisticated now. So the first week we'll go over kind of opening and closing files and getting used to the workspace, setting up your workspace and things like that. I'll have a lecture and you'll get your assignment next week and then you'll be free to go or stay and work on it. Okay, so that's really all I have for you this week. But if you have the book and you want to get started, everything's in Blackboard and you can start right now if you want to. So I'm going to stop the recording. Class is dismissed, and I hope to see you next Monday, where we'll go over lesson 1. Let me make sure that's right. Yes. Lesson 1.
All right, see ya.
Bye. And last thing, I don't know if I told you this, but you will have an individual license, so you can work on campus or off campus. You can have Photoshop on your own computer. You work on it in here, whichever you prefer, which is awesome because we used to have machine licenses. So that means if you wanted Photoshop, you had to be on campus to use it. It's dumb. So worked real hard and got it where you can access it off campus as well.